what we're not gonna do is cry over a medium ugly man who fumbled you when your face card would have rebranded his entire bloodline, okay?
Oh, she's a gold digger. She's a gold digger. Sir, do you not want a woman who's going to want the best for your children? Because that's who you call gold diggers, right? Women who want the best lifestyles. A woman who wants the best lifestyle wants the best for her children, aka your children. Because that's who you're having them with, right? So you want a smart, calculated woman who wants the best resources for your children. That's who you're scared of. I'd be scared of the other type of woman who's romanticized. Oh, I just want love. I don't want anything. I will just work together side by side. Why would you want that for your children? Why would you not want a woman who is gold digging in order to use that gold to be at home with her children to raise them so another woman doesn't have to do it? I don't know, riddle me that. Because if I was a man, I'd be looking for that gold digger to a woman who astutely understands that I can provide for her so she can be with my children. Her children, our children.
Your father's sperm doesn't just pass on his DNA. It passes on his life experiences, his stress, his fears, and even his emotional patterns. Here's how it works. When your father created you, his sperm didn't just carry genetic material. It carried epigenetic markers that were shaped by his life. This means that every time he dealt with stress, faced trauma, or even lived through major life events, those moments didn't just affect him. They affected the sperm that created you. Let me put this into perspective. If your dad went through something like emotional hardship, unhealthy relationships, or even had poor nutrition, those experiences physically changed the way his genes were expressed, and those changes were passed down to you. So when you feel anxious, struggle with stress, or notice emotional patterns that just don't make sense, it's not just you. It could be the imprint of your father's nervous system and his emotional struggles living on inside you. And the most mind-blowing part, you can change it. You can rewrite the story of your nervous system, your emotions, and your reactions.
Fellas, these females will go to great lengths to point the finger for their bad decisions and for their toxic behavior. And if the bad guy can literally be a guy, all the more better. If you thought that this take is absolutely ridiculous, which of course it is, you should have seen the comments. It's as if they have a hive mind. Gentlemen, women will gladly swim in shark-infested waters if it means that they get to hear what they want to hear. Imagine if a man came forward and said that the reason why you as a man maltreat your girlfriend is because more than likely when your mom was growing up, she grew up in an abusive household.
So the girlie who said she was lured out of a great marriage and then got cheated on made a 7-minute long story time on what happened, and in response to some of the backlash that she's been getting. I watched it so you don't have to. She was 19 when she got married to her ex-husband because she got pregnant and her mom forced it upon her. She was crazy in love with this guy. They were best friends. They were high school sweethearts. He was the breadwinner. They had a great marriage and a happy family, but then he started getting laid off by his jobs and it was unstable, so then they were living paycheck to paycheck. And she says there were single men around her all the time, which she didn't fall into, which is wild to say because duh, there are single people around all of the time. She's saying that as if it's like a, oh, look at me staying faithful, as if it's that hard. She said that she didn't know what it meant to take vows. She was miserable and basically admitted to playing in his face for a while. She said that she started going to work again and then she felt resentment towards her husband. And then this guy at her new job would not stop flirting with her. She said that he was tall, dark, and handsome and that he never left her alone and would text her a lot, and then he just became irresistible. Yes, she used the word irresistible. She went out with that guy in a group, alcohol was involved, and not good stuff happened. Her ex-husband had found receipts that belonged to the guy in her car, and then he found out that they were texting a lot, so then they get a divorce. She moves in with the guy that she cheated with, and then everything went downhill. She was drinking too much alcohol. No one in her life liked the new guy, obviously. She says that it was the worst of times, and that guy still tries to come into her life now, even though they are done. She says that she takes accountability, but like, she doesn't, because she still asserts basically in her story that she was lured by this irresistible guy and just admitted to cheating on her husband because they were going through hard times financially. Let me know what you guys think.
I tried looking for the original follow-up part 2 video to no avail. In any case, there's a lot one can gather from these 2 clips alone. 1. Hypergamy is a Thanos-level threat. And 2. Women will contortion themselves to avoid accountability. Note that the marriage was all sunshine and rainbows until the loyal ex-husband wasn't breaking the bank anymore. Chaps, you've heard it so many times. the only woman who'll love you unconditionally is your mother. The tall, dark and handsome, with an emphasis on the dark, leads us to believe that there was a Tyrone. It's sad, guys. Rick Astley's Together Forever will only ever apply to your parents and your grandparents. The second a greener pasture presents itself, you can pretty much fill in the blank.
Whenever I talk about men being divas, right, and acting like women in relationships, this is always the argument. They said, but you wanted equality. You wanted feminism. It's like, yeah, we wanted to like be treated the same. We want the same pay. We want the same opportunity. We want the same rights as men because we are equals, right? But there's still masculine and feminine. And in a relationship, I think that works best. Call me crazy. Okay. And people really go crazy with this because there's a modern day masculine and feminine. Like, for example, let me talk about my sweet, sweet fiance. He's a masculine man, right? When we first started dating, he pursued, he took me on a date. He didn't go fucking 50-50, right? He set up the time. He did everything. He was calling, he was texting. I didn't have to lift a fucking finger, right? But that man's also been to therapy. He knows how to like emotionally regulate, and that's hot, right? But he still wants to provide. He still is a masculine man, right? And the crazy thing is in that video, like I'm talking about like texting first. I'm talking about just asking a girl on a date, pursuing a tiny bit in the modern world. And that's too hard for you? You're equality? This is what you guys wanted. No, we didn't want little bitches running around. Right? We just wanted it to be like viewed the same in like the workplace and just in like human rights. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I know if this is your train of thought, you probably won't understand it because you're obviously not thinking too hard, but I hope that helps everybody else.
Gentlemen, women don't want a democracy. They want a dictatorship. It ain't you as a man and her as a woman, all happily ever after. Between the two of you, it's North Korea, and you can pretty much guess who the supreme leader is. I truly don't envy you men in relationships because most of you, for the greater peace so to speak, have allowed your girlfriends and wives to be professional brats. Women are like bullies, guys. You take the high road, all in the name of peace, and you're screwed. And you wanna know what's crazy? Women, knowing very well how impossible they are still curious as to why men are checking out of relationships altogether. The red pill often gets a bad rap, some of which I'll admit is well deserved, but what it ain't is wrong. Alrighty everyone, it's been a blast. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. I'll see you next time.